Hello there, I'm your #Sazaron, and welcome all. Let's take a look at this homebrew product you can buy. And I acquired spice up your Dungeons and Dragons campaign, bringing diversity and some interesting new fun concepts to a game. As a player and as a game master. Also because, after all, Dungeons and Dragons and similar tabletop is well within the rights of being a power fantasy. And what is more power fantasy than just making the ultimate version of yourself, despite the disabilities? Though some people might call it, oh, it's woke, it's pandering. But on the other hand, why not? But I don't expect actual companies to invest in that because it's a tiny customer base. But the private people, they should definitely invest in that. This is why we have this here the concept for a Comet Wheelchair. I just find it very amusing because it's an awesome concept. Made with adventure in mind, the Comet Wheelchair is supportive and intuitive, designed for both daily activities and pressures of combat during one's adventures. It can be specifically tailored to user with varieties of intuitive upgrades. Oh. And created by first-rate artificers and their disabled consultants to ensure high-grade comfort and excellent efficiency. Not all it is, the wheelchair prides itself on being sleek, fashionable, and durable at an affordable price. For the disconcerting mobility user. Taking is designed from the chair, used in such sports as wheelchair, basketball, and rugby. The Comet Wheelchair can withstand high impact and even work as a weapon itself, providing the user with a means for both defense and attack. Anyone can be an adventurer. What does the chair do? It might look like it comes with a lot of features. Some of you might feel that because of this, it's unfair for a character to have this item at the first level. However, the chair only has so many features because it's designed to enable a disabled party member to do exactly what able members of the party can do. But it can float up and down stairs. Isn't that unfair? No, unless you plan on making it. Making all able-bodied characters at level 1. Also remain on ground floor. And never go up and down stairs. And into dungeons. If you're planning on doing that, what is fair? Wait, what? What do you mean it sounds ridiculous? But it can be used as a weapon. Is that unfair? No, unless you plan to take away every player's weapon. If you're planning on doing that, then that's fair. You mean it sounds silly? Additionally, the chair uses the D&D Dragons established ruling. It cannot be used to make extra attack until level 5. People complaining about the wheelchair have obviously never heard about an ornithopter before. But the chair has the equipment that comes with it. Yes. In much the same way, a sword comes with a sheath and a belt. A Dungeoneer's pack comes with ropes, caltrops, or a horse comes with a saddle and a bridle. Combat Wheelchair comes with seatbelts and gloves. The wheelchairs have never been in Dungeons & Dragons. This is nonsense. We suggest you read A.R. Salvatore's Drizzt novels, which are canon to D&D. Why would anyone need a wheelchair? This world has magic. Again, we recommend you read Salvatore's Drizzt. I hate it. I hate pronounce. Goody two shoe draw. Regeneration and restoration is costly. And what about those of us simply born with our disability? You cannot regenerate or restore what was not there to begin with. And some of us, well, we don't want to be fixed. Chair was never created to make a able character better than able-bodied character. It was made to enable characters with abilities to go adventuring, same as an able-bodied character. Take issue with disabled people celebrating and having fun with a game that you love. You need to reconsider your stance on disability. Disability is nothing to be ashamed about. Remember, no one is making you this supplement. Here and exist for those who need, who wants to see ourselves in a tabletop game. So they'll enjoy happy adventuring. Comet Wheelchair is designed to be easy to maintain, upgrade, and repair. Simplicity, necessity. As an adventurer, may not always be able to find a smith, artificer, or other such thinkers to pit stop at. Result, you have proficiency in Tinker 2. You are considered as being proficient in using your wheelchair, both in everyday task and weapon in combat. Portability. Yes. One of the best-selling features of the item in case of portability. Take it anywhere on your adventures. Due to its collapsible design, which enables a back pull it out whilst on the go, fold up the wheelchair to the back of a cart, and can even be attached to the saddlebags of any mount. I feel sorry for that horse. If you plan to try to carry the combatant wheelchair by yourself, as they be folded up, remember that it can be quite a challenge to do so, especially over long distances. The carrying capacity is your strength score multiplied by 50. The result being how much you can carry in pounds. And but regardless. The wheel, also this visual doesn't rely on a motor, but a mix of manual and small magical set of stones. It's roughly the size and weight of a pebble, more lightweight than other wheelchair available throughout the realms, weighing only 25 pounds. However, this is the base weight. An upgrade and it will weigh more. The Dungeon Master may ask you to keep track of your wheelchair's weight. Weight for each upgrade is specified in the upgrade section of this item. If you find struggling to carry the wheelchair when you aren't using it, be sure to ask for help. That's what friends are for. Party members are friends? That's news to me. I generally thought the party members were just a bunch of murderers and fools flinging fireballs over the place. But I suppose it's easy to traverse terrain when there is nothing but rubble. An extension of the self. Spells. Well, casting spells with magical effect, the combat wheelchair is considered being part of you, extension of your body. As a result, both you and the share the same benefit of the spell, effect for duration until it's dropped. Druids who use wild shape and transmutation spell that change the user form, polymorph, shape change, will find that the share shares the same benefit and transform with it. Instead of share is still infected. So, does that mean that if someone managed to polymorph you while in a chair, it will not suddenly be a ferret riding the chair. It will just be a tiny ferret. Still, and you will transform the person and the chair at the same time. Interesting. Normally, I count as a part of a person, you know. Equipment. As already mentioned, the Comet Wheelchair comes with equipment. Let's address what this means. What do we categorize as equipment? As blah, blah. Pretty much has all the things in Explorer's backpack. Like gloves that grant you protection from friction while squish rims, rear backrest compartment. This bag, which has been designed to fit snugly against the back of the chair, attached to the backrest. This item is the same as Explorer's pack. I have never ever really invested in a Explorer's pack. Just because the adventure has been that way, even though we've been playing it for years. Yeah. So far, it has been mentioned that the Comet Wheelchair is based on design used high-impact sports, such as wheelchair rugby and basketball. But what does it mean in regards to how it looks? None of the item used to make the frame from the chair, giving the user significant benefit. All they do is provide a foundation for an item that allows disabled adventurers to be as independent as abled adventurers. There are five aspects to the chair's anatomy. Slanted Wheel. These wheels allow for easy passage over the coast, forest, grassland, and mountain terrains, similar to how a ranger finds easy lands to them carry out data research. However, these four types of terrains are the most often traversed by adventuring parties. The slant of the wheels as they turn inwards and up versus and give a good control when traveling. Upgrades for type. And pouches. The three additional small pouches near the armrest, and it serves as a water skin holder, wasting time stopping or rummaging the rear backrest while looking for a drink. Same way as any other adventurers might wear theirs at the hip for convenience. The two other pouches can be used to hold your weapons, like a sword belt or seat-tilt lever. This lever sits just on the seat, rest and action. Unlock mechanism uses causes the chair to tilt up so that getting in and out of armrest. The armrests are affixed to the chair, adjustable by your arm. With one of these armrests, the choice the beacon stone. Head to the final point of this selection. Else, strap about the waist, knees and shins. Hold your in your chair correctly and prevent you from falling out. Beacon stone. Commonly factory made by artificers across the realm for this sole purpose. They are imbued with very low level and basically carry the same level of energy as a cantrip spell. Provides for a little boost and nothing. Each chair comes with one of these stones set in armrest. Use it two different ways. The first, you can run your hand or your fingers over it to indicate and guide the chair direction you want to go. This use was designed for users who may not have full use of the arms or illness or disability. This means the lack of energy to push the chair with themselves, regardless of whether to push direction chair using stone or combo of the wheel. Base speed of 25 feet, whatever that means. Second way to use a stone is factored with ascending or descending stair. A true favorite enemy of many wheelchair users. Yes. Additionally, the beacon stone is unique that it only responds to the owner. So, spell magic has no effect upon this stone. Will not be acted. Other people cannot act. They will have to. You all know dungeons often have a lot of stairs and sweet Assalin. Let's not get started on a Castle Ravenloft's maze of steps. Let's face it, stairs are difficult. Especially when you're in a wheelchair. Which is why there's a beacon stone to help. Tapping your fingers against the stone twice, you inform that you need up and down. Over at 2 feet round. But yeah, I float upstairs. Use this weapon to make melee attack. Low level, you might wish to use one of these attacks instead. High levels, you may want to use here in this for an extra attack. You are considered to be proficient in using the wheelchair. While in combat, the chair can still be moved around one-handed. Use the beacon. For 3 types of attack, the Fire Strike. Pivoting on wheels and turning your momentum, you can strike the creature within range. One of the chair's rear wheels. Bam. Move 10 feet in a straight line towards a small or medium creature. You can boldly slam into. Not bad. And I must succeed on a 14 strength. If the creature is prone, you can choose to roll over them. It must be a small or medium creature. Spin you under my wheels. How tough is it? There is in-game wheelchair basketball rugby. You understand a chair use of it. And can withstand impact. Tackling at high speed. Doesn't have hit points the same way a sword or shield does. Doesn't. It can withstand 3 consecutive critical hits. Inflicted by melee weapons or melee spells. Or it needs repairing with either a Tinker's Tool or Smith. You can pay 100 gold to repair it, and the chair is good as new. While it's being needs to be repaired, you can still use it for everyday tasks such as mobility and ascending it. Only critical damage hit works. The chair must take 3 times the amount of critical hits it can stand before it can be repaired consecutively in order for any upgrades. In order for it and upgrades, it has to be rendered completely broken. And if this happens, you can either pay for a new chair at 200 or pay upwards to 500 or more, depending on the price of the upgrade. However, the rulings of critical hits and how they affect the chair are completely optional. But whatever, all the numbers and that. Let's look at optional features. It has 4 features available to you. You can choose whether or not to include them in your game. Swift. You can let gravity make you roll faster, moving 2 times the chair space movement. And it has emergency brakes. The rear wheels will slow you down. When the chair is moving at high speed, the Swift feature, a great risk to yourself. You try to use your hands on the wheel to stop suddenly. Yeah. Try to touch a spinning wheel. It's going to go badly. Stable. Due to the chair's 5th wheel acting as stabilizer, stable you find on many wheelchairs, you have an advantage against being knocked prone whilst you are in. If it doesn't get knocked prone, you are not thrown out of it as long as you're wearing the seatbelt. You can release these belts at any time using a bonus action point to press the button on the clasp. Whilst you are in a chair is prone, you are also considered prone. Any close range melee weapons attacks made against you have an advantage. This user shares half movements push you back up unaided. This is reduced to 0 movement by ally. Here's a couple of fun. Tuning. Tune to magic items. The faction of this is shared between you and the Comet Wheelchair. Example, boots of flying in accordance with the Dungeon Master Guide are designed with disabled adventurers in mind. Some disabled folk have mobility issues where they can't support their own weight standing unabated by the Comet Wheelchair. This is a feature you can attune the magic item and using the chair to both you and share the item benefit. And you can also use it for mounted combat. Essentially, it becomes the mount. Wheelchair jousting anyone? Winning Avengers is disabled from the get-go. Remember, the Comet Wheelchair does also give a disabled character an advantage. What a blah 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 blah. Yes, advantage. Throat is getting it. The wheelchair has a few options. One on space special upgrade. Can have 2 upgrades on it at any or given time. Some upgrades cannot be used together. There not being enough room on a chair or both that one of upgrades may negate another. It has been detailed when relevant. Now we have Agile system. A little elaborate branching suspension fixed out the camber bar connected to the rear wheels. Here. While this is in the chair, you have a dexterity saving throw and acrobatic checks advantage. And all-terrain tires, essentially just getting better on terrain. Arcane absorption. Dwarvish runes primordial occasion. Absorbs elemental energy from spells only. The next time you fall into a saving throw against a spell that deals cold, fire, or lightning damage, you have an advantage on save as rune attempts to buff some of. Of course, then you have extra armor plates. And you can make it float like across the water. And you can attach a crossbow pistol on the armrest. Parting ram. A ram has been affixed to the front of your chair, covering your legs. Use it to knock down in combat. Don't knock down a creature in combat. Yeah. And we have Razor Edge. Hoop-shaped blades are mounted jut out from push rims on either side of the rear wheels at distance. So your hands also get cut up while you pushing it along. Yeah, razor blades and tire strike. Of course, it has caltrops. You can just also get caltrops. My personal favorite though is the Shin Shredders. It's essentially some poems from the rim. A triangular shaped blade sticks out, spins around, and when you drive by someone, chink! It deals additional to slashing damage to your tire strike. Cut into the skin. It causes great pain and make quick movement harder for the target creature. Yes, you're cutting the chins while driving by them. But one I really find awesome is Spider Leg. Tucked snugly underneath, there are 8 mechanical legs, folded up tightly in a claw-like position. Button in the armrest of your choice will activate the legs. Lifts you 4 feet off. Well, powered by a small, intricate, and extremely expensive construction engine. The beacon stone for all units. Additionally, the construct engine can only be used for 1 hour at a time before needing a for 2 hours. It's self-charging to sustain itself on a small core of hellfire that burns eternally. Yes, armored plate. These are separate from your energy chair. Weight of this upgrade is significant. You may need a cart to move or mount to help transport the chair not being used. Well, suspension tires because, mountaineering suddenly becomes a lot easier on those pesky mud roads full of stones and corpses. Thunderstrip. First evacuation spell, Thunderwave. This is the same as one, play a handbook. Fold fast. Small bags and storage compartments can be attached with background. Paralympian. Spent however many years of life as a wheelchair athlete specializing in sport of his choice. Example, murderball, BCX, basketball, etc. Travel across over the realm as casual or pick up a couple of languages of your choice along the way. You're not necessarily a rogue, but you have a honed your skill using a wheelchair in impressive feats of acrobatic and athletics. Your favorites? Of course, you can put on traits relating to sport. But all of these rules, well, if you want this, you have to get it for yourself. But, no, feel free to visit this link here. Without limits and just because there you can get some nice nifty miniatures. But all of that aside, look at some fun potential things that can be done with this. Oh, trust me. It's not only disabled people that will use this. But there's so many ways it can be misused. So essentially, it can be used for more than just disabled characters. Or or it can be used for villains, it can be used for magicians. But mostly, I just imagine a fat, plump king using it as a throne. Also, how superior it is to sit in. And because of mobility, because if you are a lazy king, you are pretty much disabled by definition. Because you cannot hold up your own weight, and you are too lazy to move around. And sometimes getting a servant to carry you is such a hassle. And of course, a king or a villain would definitely have the ability to, buy spider legs to put on this thing. So, come into the throne room of the villain, and then he has a crossbow attached to the chair, So but he is hidden on a blanket or something. And he failed a perception check, so he just goes dunk, and suddenly you got a crossbow bolt out of nowhere. Why? Yeah, it doesn't have to make sense, but it just sounds fun, and it will definitely be a huge surprise. And of course, also the thing is that having a couple of huge spider legs suddenly gives you a height advantage in some regards, which makes it a lot harder for, for example, the fighter actually fight you properly. So if you're like an like a mage, sure you could fly, but first you're gonna use the legged wheelchair as a platform to just rain down terror and destruction. And then, if that doesn't work, you just use fly instead. And more fireballs. And suddenly you have a flying fireball platform. And also, due to the rule set right, a fighter will have a real hard time getting consecutive critical strikes. Or But another thing for combat users, regardless of who it is, right? So, in front of you stands a angry orc. Or a pack of kobolds. So you just roll towards them, plow them down with your splitter, with the parting ram, and then you do a spin with your wheel razor blades, for example, or you ram someone, knock them down, then you roll over the neck, have a satisfying crunch, and then the next dude, you just roll by and shred his shins so he starts to bleed and cannot move properly. And then you just ram him as well. And then depending on how bad you hit him and shredded his shins, he will be disabled and probably unable to get onto his feet. But yes. But after all, just ideas. I'd like to hear yours in the comments down below. I'm your Sastron, out, and whatever you do check out the original script. I'm not giving you all of this for free. You have to look it up yourself.